today. PIP coverage, personal injury protection. Popular coverage, a little bit unique here in Michigan. Tell me more.
Yeah. Wrap it up, B. I gotta get to a daycare tour in just a few moments. And yes, my wife and I are expecting. It's going to be our first, and so we're going through that whole daycare process. And if you're someone who's never done that before, they wait till the very, very end to tell you that you can't afford it no matter what. So the monthly payments for one kid to have, a ratio of 1 to 4 for, I don't know, maybe the first 6 months, and then 1 to 8 or 1 to 10 from the student to teacher ratio and whatnot is crazy expensive. And then that got me thinking with the PIP coverage, like you noted previously, is what happens if one of your children sustains a serious injury and they need care not just from 8 to 5, but round the clock, 7 days a week. And it's not just a daycare facility. It's specialized, highly trained nursing that's keeping that person alive and helping them go about their day.
Yeah,
You've got, two children that spend a lot of their time riding up and down the sidewalks in the neighborhood on bikes and on scooters and skateboards and all that stuff.
working on it.
Well, with training wheels, what happens if one of them is, maybe both are hit by a vehicle that just didn't see them? You don't ever want to have to think about that, but let's go into that space and say, how would your family ever be able to pay for all of the care that they might need for the rest of their life because they had something like a serious brain or spinal injury or something like that?
Yeah, you simply couldn't, right? And you want to make sure that your family has the best care possible if anyone is badly hurt in a car accident. But one thing that I think is often overlooked and undervalued is the fact that that coverage applies even if you are outside of a vehicle, right? You don't have to be riding or driving in a car when you're injured in a car accident. We see a fair number of claims every year from pedestrians, bicyclists, joggers, rollerbladers, skateboarders, right? If you are hit by a vehicle, which unfortunately can happen, that personal injury protection coverage does apply to those injuries. So we think it's incredibly important for those of us that live in walkable communities or large neighborhoods or areas where the kids and the families are spending time outside, cruising up and down the sidewalks, walking to school, heading off to get coffee. That coverage applies whether you're in a vehicle or not. So if you live in a community like that, it's especially important to be sure that your auto insurance policy includes unlimited personal injury protection because you are getting incredible bang for your buck and you're getting the best value that is out there.
Brian, before we wrap this up, what
Yes.
happens if I chose a little bit of a less expensive route and I didn't get the unlimited personal injury protection coverage? I've got two kids that were riding tandem on a bike together and they got hit by a vehicle that didn't stop when it was supposed to. And now they need a lot of care. I've got health insurance, right? So my health insurance is going to pay for their medical expenses, correct?
It may, right? And we're not health insurance experts by any means, but even if the health insurance does cover some of that care, there are a lot of things that it doesn't cover that the auto insurance coverage would have. And on top of that, you're going to have copays and deductibles that reset every year in the health insurance plan. So if you need several years of care, you're eating up those deductibles and those copays really quickly. And again, most health insurance is not going to cover some of the most expensive services that you'll find covered by the PIP coverage in an auto insurance policy.
Like in-home nursing and specialized rehab and some of that long-term care type of stuff that your children might need for decades into the future, right?
Certainly. Yeah. Well,
Scary
Derek,
stuff.
thanks for the intel there, right? Scary, but good to be prepared, right? You want to know what you are paying for and how does that protect your family. God forbid you ever need that coverage, but if you do, it makes a world of difference. So, Derek, thank you for that long parallel from the daycare shopping all the way out to the personal
What
injury
type of
protection
insurance
coverage.
can I get for that daycare stuff?
I was wondering where you were going, but it all came together. Thank you for your intel, and thanks everyone for joining us. Don't forget, we have our live workshop coming up on January 14th, 6 predictions for 2026, and more importantly, how to create a winning insurance plan in today's insurance market. There is a link in the video description here. We'd love to have you join us for that.